Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome my Hadith disciples, YouTubers and viewers upon the Sunnah and Athar to another exclusive episode of F.M.F, 5 minutes of Faida. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy upon us, so said, فَلَيْسَ لِأَحَدٍ أَنْ يَظُنِّ اسْتِغْنَاءَهُ عَنِ التَّوْبَةِ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالِاسْتِغْفَارِ مِنَ الذُّنُوبِ بل كل أحد محتاج إلى ذلك دائما. أو كما قال رحمه الله تعالى. No one, he said, can think and feel that he can do without tawbah and istighfar. No servant, no slave, no Muslim can ever wake up and have the attitude, directly or indirectly with his tongue or his body language, and say, I don't need to make an abundance of tawbah. I don't need to make an abundance of istighfar. I don't need to worry about my sins, myself, and asking Allah to forgive me. Bel, on the contrary, every person, each and every individual, muhtajun ila dhalika, is in need of that, of tawbah and istighfar. Everybody's in need of it. And he said, da'iman, all of the time. How better of a world would it be? How safer of a world it would be if I woke up in the morning, you went to sleep at night, if everybody just sat down and said, all right, you know what, today, my primary goal, my main objective, my priority is going to be tawbah and istighfar. I'm not going to ignore what I need to ignore, helping out people, doing this and joining the good, fighting in the lost cause, but I'm going to make sure I prioritize my soul. And subhanAllah, look at the beauty of Islam. When you give nasiha to others, when you enjoy the good, forbid the evil, when you fight in the lost cause, when you force Allah's rules and laws, that's also service to yourself. But never ever forget that, and never ever think that you're doing a favor to people or for people. But always remind yourself that Allah is using me. Allah is using you for His deen. And by His permission, that will be a means of spiritual salvation. So when you constantly look at yourself as being flawed, as being a servant, as being a sinner, as being a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're in the perpetual fight and the perpetual contest for perfection, striving for perfection, because I know I'm flawed. But once you think that you've reached the top, you have no need of asking for forgiveness, you have no flaws, you have no faults, you have no mistakes, you have no errors. What does that lead to? We all know it will lead to arrogance, conceit. It will lead to you becoming a megalomaniac, a egomaniac. You're going to major ego trip. It'll lead you to scorning people, looking down upon people. And we all know what the Prophet ﷺ has said about that. بِحَسْبِ امْرِئٍ مِّنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ الْمُسْلِمِ. For a man to scorn his Muslim brother as more than enough sin. You have enough on your scale of ithim, of sin, to scorn your fellow Muslim brother. But it leads to you becoming complacent and lazy. And if we look at history, the annals of history, we look at the different nations, the empires, the different khanates and sultanates, we look at the different states, we look at the different confederations and coalitions, etc. You look at all the different people who rose and who fell, you'll find a consistent theme. And that is, they became complacent. They became lazy. They got to the top, they won, they had a really good game, a really good season. He got the MVP, he got the trophy, and then he didn't train as hard in the off season. Or he thought and he felt that as a coach, my coaching strategy is superior to all other inferior coaches. I don't need to keep sharpening up and practicing and covering up and fixing my mistakes and my blunders. And this is why people, they always study the tape. No matter what victory you won the fight, but you gotta study the tape because you made mistakes. I had a teacher in Medina. He would say to the students before the final exam, they would ask him, you know, can somebody get a perfect score in your class? He said, no. He said, I won't give no student a 100. You may get a 95, you may get a 90. No student deserves a 100. So some of the students, they said, well, Sheikh, isn't that a little unfair? If a person gets a perfect score, how are you gonna prevent them from getting a perfect grade on the test, you know, throughout the year? He said, no matter what, there's something that you didn't do, something that you didn't say. It's a way that you could have said it better, so on and so forth. Now, the students, they became a little disgruntled. They became a little angry at that. But in hindsight, thinking about it now, it makes a lot of sense. As if he wanted those students to continue to strive for excellence and perfection, and never to think that is Nothing that they have to clean up and fix.